Week 1, we've been waiting for it. What's the next game that we're going to be paying attention to?
Okay, this is the opposite of a trash game. This is one that will draw the attention of football fans all around the world. The Atlanta Falcons travel to New Orleans to play the New Orleans Saints.
Mardi Gras! The
The Saints, man, both of these teams were in the news last year. All right, the Falcons were the host team in the NFC Championship game, as you know, and they lost by 4 points to the Niners due to inability to hold a big 10-point lead, which is not all that big when you're playing the Niners. The Saints had their head coach, Sean Payton, is that his name?
Yes, it is.
Was suspended for the entire year last year
Walter's Inconvenient Truth.
because of the Bounty Gate fiasco that came to the Saints. They got in trouble, as you recall, with the NFL because even after the NFL found out that they had a program of offering to pay players bounties for knocking out key players on the opposing team, and even after the NFL said to the New Orleans Saints, "Stop this," well, what do? They said, "They're not going to notice. We'll fool them."
Commissioner Smissioner.
Yeah, right. It's not like we'll play our games in the dark or something in the shadows and we'll make sure the NFL doesn't learn. Well, anyway, so the NFL busted them and they said, all right, Sean Payton, head coach, you're done for the year. You're out, suspended for the year. And they went off to a horrible start. Their defense was particularly bad. Their offense was still very good last year. And it really remains to be seen how well the Saints can regain some defense, really. And we'll find out how big an important factor the head coach, Sean Payton, is to the Saints. They're at home. They're favored by 3.
I couldn't agree more.
It's a huge division game, obviously, for both of them. But these are two teams. The expectations are very high. Talent levels are very high. I'd say at this point the Falcons are much more of a known quantity. And the Saints are much more of an unknown because of the defense and the turmoil they went through last year. They've had the whole offseason to put it back together. But, doing it in practice, doing it in preseason games is one thing. Doing it on regular season Sundays is another.
All good points and all relevant points. The telltale sign for me in this particular matchup is, like you said, this is a huge rivalry that's come up and had reason to pay attention to for at least the last 3 or 4 seasons because of all the winning and the Super Bowl victory that the New Orleans Saints acquired. Atlanta, all the good things I've said about Atlanta. I mean, that's the reason why this is such a great matchup. And with them playing each other twice in the year, it's worth paying attention to. Maybe I'm going out on a limb here. Maybe I'm not going out on a limb here. But I will say this. I see the Falcons. If I was a betting man, I'd be putting some money on the Falcons because the Saints getting 3 points and being favored at home and getting the standard 3-point favor, I would say that that's not going to be enough. I think the Falcons, number one, should have momentum coming from last year, and if they don't have momentum over the Saints having all the problems they had and losing their coach and having a bad year, if the momentum's not enough, I'm going to say this: the Falcons have more weapons, believe it or not, than even the Saints. Maybe not altogether on the offense. Maybe the amount of weapons I'm talking about between running backs and wide receivers is about even. But when you look at what they're capable of doing on defense, that's another key point. I give the advantage to the Falcons.
Big advantage.
When you look at the players that they've acquired, as I spoke about earlier, picking up the best free agents that they were able to trade for, again, I give the advantage to Atlanta. If I was a betting man, Mickey, I'm putting money on the Falcons when it comes to this one. Dirty Birds will be flying high.
Plus the 3, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right. I would have to agree with you for the reasons you've explained.
Thank you.
Certainly.